Good morning. Good afternoon.
I don't know, Connor. I'm just not feeling it.
I think what you're feeling is that burrito from earlier.
No, it's not that.
That's
I feel like Doesn't it feel like we're missing something?
We are missing something. We got to figure out what that is. Wait a second.
You think what I'm thinking?
I think we're thinking the same thing.
All right, 3, 2. It worked.
It worked. Need a little glands.
Where are we?
Where are we? You're at the Untitled Weekly Show.
I'm scared.
What's happening? So this week we're joined by the Glanses, and since we don't have enough lav mics, they're gonna get the talking stick, which is just a boom. Don't put it too close to your face.
We're broke.
Is this gonna be in the?
From here on out, everything you say
All right,
and
we're
or
all
do is on
introducing
camera.
ourselves. So
Oh.
I'm Connor, Gooseberry Glands.
And I'm Aaron from Clan Radkey.
My name is Zach, insert nickname here, Glands.
And I'm Isaac, Baby Booty Glands.
And this is the Untitled Weekly Show. The
Hooah.
show where we talk
Oh,
about what
that was
we
the wrong
want
part.
and you like it.
So this week.
This week.
Next week?
Not
Next
next
week?
week.
No, this week.
This
Oh,
week.
this
Last week.
We have something special.
Have we-
Here we are blessed by the glands.
One glands, two glands.
One glands, two glands.
Red glands, blue glands. I'm gonna change their colors on their faces to make them red and blue.
Oh no.
The reason the Glanses are here is because they wanted to be here. We were like, you guys should come.
What do you mean? You just summoned us out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't worry about that.
The Glanses both like video games, as do the two of us. And
That
we're
is
talking
true.
about video games that we think could be made into good movies, and we're gonna give a little pitch for those.
Because we've all seen a numerous amount of bad video game movies, and we're just like, man, I wish there were more good video game movies, and maybe we can do it. Probably not, but we're gonna try anyway.
Definitely not.
Yeah, no.
Red glands, blue glands.
Give me that talking stick. You got the talking stick?
I'm gonna scoot out so there's some more space.
To start off our little pitch meeting session, I'm going to attempt to draw what I thought for the longest time was one of the most terrifying enemies I have ever faced up against in a video game. It's BioShock, baby.
Angry.
So,
Call that one Small Daddy.
So, BioShock. If any of you owned a PS3 or an Xbox 360, you know how great of a game this was, and how atmospheric it was, and how like super cool everything with the powers and everything. And you're probably thinking, oh, are you just gonna retell the first game? No. If we're gonna do a movie on BioShock, we gotta start further back. Not infinite, no, that's too far back. Our story would start at the absolute peak of Rapture's flourishing. Rapture is the city that this all takes place in, but you probably know that. And we would follow potentially a reporter who is leading up on a new story. And that story, against the chagrin of Andrew Ryan, is who is Atlas? This isn't Atlas. This is a Big Daddy. But who is Atlas? This mysterious figure of power rising up amongst the populace. In BioShock, we often get a look at what happened afterwards. You know, we get to see the destruction in the city that it used to be, small glimpses of what their lifestyle was like. And with this movie, I want to give a real good glimpse of how it was back in its prime, seeing everything the way Andrew Ryan always envisioned it, and then watch it slowly fall apart. I don't have any actors in mind because I barely know any actors, and the actors I do know, I just can't envision them in any BioShock role. But hey, I might be surprised. If you're like, oh man, a Bioshock movie would be amazing. And if you're like, man, this person would be great for it, put it in the comments below.
All right, somebody hold this for me. I'm up next. I'm doing it next.
Is that your whole deal, Aaron?
Yeah, that's
Nice.
my whole deal.
Nice.
Oh,
I'll
sorry. My pitch. We're gonna hop on over to Nintendo for The Legend of Zelda, and I think this is probably going to be, in terms of the movie, do not adapt from any games. This is its own original story. The Nintendo themselves can decide whether or not it's canon. Probably won't be, but very basic story of Link, Zelda, and Ganon. Link, I think you could loosely base it off of Twilight Princess in terms of story, maybe, but design-wise, definitely a loose base on Twilight Princess, just because I think those designs would fit best for a movie. It's mainly just going to be an action adventure, slight bit of romance between Link and Zelda, because there always is, even if it's just a little bit. And there could be a couple of side characters that would normally be NPCs. Flirt with Link just a little bit. One of them has to be a fish lady.
Bring in Groose. We deserve Groose.
You know what? That's fine.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Yeah, but I think Legend of Zelda would be a fun movie.
Give the glands a good old wipe.
Drop dust wipe.
So, my idea is for Metroid. Give it little teeth. Science. Oh yeah, little teeth, little chompers right there. So my idea for the movie story would be whether it's 388, whether it's some other lab that the humans have created at this point to test the Metroids as their weapon potential. They destroyed it. And they obviously send Samus to eradicate the aliens as they do. As it be.
As it be.
As it in due fact be.
Yep.
And I don't think we're actually gonna see any Metroids, I think until the end is what I would envision it. And I would think mainly it's the space pirates in a busted down research facility, and they're just horrifying creatures with guns. And you can have either Ridley or Mother Brain be their leader. It doesn't particularly matter unless you're basing it off of a specific game. And then at the end, again, as it do be. Well, thank you. That's very nice. So one of the baby things will have not hatched yet, and it will befriend Samus. And she will sit there and it's going to be like, you are my mother. And it is not, in fact, her mother. Have we ever considered that Metroid is... Have we ever considered that Metroid is just a really construed take on the Are You My Mother book?
Well, apparently, if you ask Other M, that's exactly what it is.
Oh, let's not. Okay, never mind. So anyway, at the end, it's going to be the thing, and it's going to be Samus, and she probably killed a giant one at the end. And then this thing comes out, and it's like, you're my mother. And they're telling her to like kill it over the comms. Anyway, that's my pitch.
All right, so let's get in here.
I'm coming.
Get your glands back in here.
Get your
All
glands.
right,
Get them
all
greasy
right,
glands
all
back
right.
in here. I was trying to figure out what video game, as we've been talking about, I would make into a movie. And I was like, there's a lot of video games that have good stories. Gears of War would be a cool one. I know a lot of people have already found like really cool casting for Gears of War, and Gears of War is a cool, strong story. But I think I've come to a conclusion that the game I'd go with, that I would make a movie out of, is Limbo. Now Limbo is a I think it's a fairly well-known game. It was an indie game.
Independent developer.
An independent developer. Limbo is a game about this kid who goes into limbo, which we don't really know what limbo is, other than it's like this really dark world with all kinds of terrible stuff like spiders and things that are trying to kill you. He's looking for his sister. I don't think I would even bother with the main character from this movie, but really, the characters I'm most interested in is during the course of the game, there are these characters who. So this is going to be one of those characters. Doot 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 doot, and then there's the main character. Now there's a big difference between the main character and all the other characters, in that the main character, he's got a pair of eyeballs. The other ones don't. Which leads me to believe that maybe they don't have a soul or they're dead or something. But I'm trying to figure out, these kids must have also been, they must have come here for some reason. So I really want a story about the other people in Limbo. How they got there, because they have like a society. They got straight up, like they got traps to protect themselves from spiders. There's a whole world going on with these other people. And I want to know how they got there and what's going on with them. The story is, how did these dudes get here? I think what happened was that somehow they all got teleported in this world, and the movie would be about them developing the skills to survive, but slowly losing their humanity as they're trapped in this world. Because I kind of get the feeling that the longer you're in this world, the harder it is to maintain your humanity.
Get out of the way.
They're turning into monsters.
I was kneeling down.
Here.
I was kneeling.
Let's mark your height on the wall.
Oh. It's.
This is just an excuse to get chalk in your hair.
Oh no.
Now it's my turn to get in. Connor, get out of my side. That's my side.
That is your side.
Yep.
All right, on the shuffle.
There we go. Well, I guess that about wraps it up.
I think that's probably about.
I think
all
we all
need to
just
do.
kind of agree that like video games are cool, and we just want to see more stuff with our video games. You know,
Yeah.
the video games we like.
Yeah. Turning a video game into a movie is super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it'd be
Except
fun.
that most of the time it ends up being an
It's
inconvenience.
been proven to be quite the convenience.
Okay.
Anyway, that is the end of this episode. Tune in next week where we find a way to send these boys back home.
All right. Taking away the talking stick.
Cool. Chalk dust glade.
All right, 1, 2. That's not what I was going for. We'll take it.
Yikes.